Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So, started the day off today messing around a little bit more with the window scrapers on the cowlick bug. Just trying some different things. One of which is using window scrapers that are made for a split window beetle. So, split window beetles prior to October 52, which is when they become Zwitters, which for those of you that don't know, is a car that has a split rear window, but then it's got an oval dash and some other upgrades, for lack of a better word, that oval windows got. So they're kind of like somewhere between, well, they're basically an oval window with a split window rear window. Pretty much everything else about them is an oval other than the rear window. Anyway, so split windows, true split windows had one-piece windows in them. And so I actually had a pair of scrapers that I bought for my 52 split window that I had never got around to putting in. And so I thought I'd mess around with those and try them. And they might actually work. The trick is holding them on the car. And so what I'm doing is I'm kind of playing around. I've only got two in there so far, but I don't know if this will even show. Yeah, this isn't going to show. Well, okay, you'll have to take my word for it. Where is that? Oh, there it is. So I'm basically taking the little fasteners there. You can see one there better, and cutting little slots in the rubber and then pushing those through it into their receivers on the door. So on split windows, these had one of these bent wires, and earlier Beetles, regular Beetles did too. They had these bent wires that these features here were the retainers, and then the wire between those would kind of hold it, flat up against the inside of the window. So for whatever reason, Volkswagen changed the spacing of these things a bunch. And so naturally, the spacing of these little slots on this car is not the same as on a split window Beetle, and it's also not the same as on an oval window Beetle or a Beetle up to 64. So I don't know why they changed stuff like that. I mean, it's literally different by, that far or so, but it's enough that these won't work. So I may play around with this a little bit more and see once I get all those in up to here, which is about where they stop, because normally you have a vent window here. Put those in just on the outside and see how that's looking. And then I've actually got a set of Gia window scrapers, which have felt on them instead of this rubber lip. And I might have mentioned yesterday, Brian Roth says he actually glues those in. So what I may try and do is glue a set of those in for the inner channel, and then use the split window Beetle one for the outer channel. Or if this doesn't look like it's going to work, then I'm probably just going to do the Gia style felt on both inner and outer and call it a day. Anyway, so I messed around with that for a little while this morning. And then I got on to the turquoise bus and did a few things here. Went ahead and kind of finalized the radio installation. Again, it's not wired in. We honestly don't even know if it works, and the owner has no real intention of using it, but I did kind of finish installing it. I had it in there temporarily yesterday when I showed this video. So that's in there for good now. And what else? I also installed the front shift rod in here. So again, buses being as long as they are, they have a shift rod that runs through a tunnel in the chassis from about here to to the transmission there. And then there's a separate shift rod which couples with that one and then actually runs up to the shifter. So I installed that one, and I put on one of Washburn's Delrin bushings on that, and it took some work to get it to fit nicely on the shift rod hanger. It just wasn't really fitting in there and able to open fully. So it was kind of pinched closed, and it just wouldn't really let the shift rod go in. So I spent some time kind of massaging both the shift rod hanger and the Delrin bushing to get them to fit perfect. And then I went ahead and installed the forward shift rod. And then I decided to go ahead and mock up at least, so it's not in here permanently, but go ahead and mock up the Gene Berg Shifter, which the owner provided with this bus. And so those of you that don't know what a Berg Shifter is, this is a Berg Shifter, so made by Gene Berg Enterprises. They are really nice. So they shorten the throw pretty considerably, probably like 40% or so reduction, and super solid. This is obviously shifting nothing now because it's not attached on the transmission side, but with the Delrin bushing back here, and then I'll probably use a billet coupler at the back, this thing is going to have very smooth, very precise shifting. So it should feel really nice. And again, this bus is going to be a hot rod, so very appropriate to have the Berg Shifter. The knob on here, for those of you that might have guessed, is the reverse lockout. So you push that in and it allows you to come further to the left, and then you can go back, of course, into reverse. So yeah, really nice piece there. Went ahead and test fitted that after I got the shifter and all that in. And then started working on some more under the dash things. So he did not have a wiper motor or pretty much anything related to wipers. So I bought a wiper motor and mount from Octavio that looks like that now. When I first got it from him, it looked more like that. This is off of it, and actually, yeah, the motor was probably worse than it. I mean, it was really disgusting. And in fact, it didn't work at first. Hooked a couple wires up to it and tested it at 6 volts. It kind of tried to turn, but didn't. Pulled the armature out. It was all kind of gunky and stuff, and I think it was had so much friction in there it wasn't working. So I cleaned that up, put it back together, and lo and behold, it worked. So now what I've done is Wolfsburg West, our friends over there, they actually sell an armature for these that's wound to make them 12 volts. So this bus is a 64, was a 6 volt bus. The wiper assembly that fits it is 6 volt. You just swap the armature in, and then it's 12 volts. This bus, of course, being a hot rod, it's going to have a big motor in it. I think it's getting an alternator. One way or the other, it's going to be 12 volts. So yeah, I pretty much went ahead and restored this now. Painted the cover nicely, cleaned up the case. It was missing the clip here, so I pulled the clip out of our stock, put the little sleeve on it. The cover is a little beat up, but on a bus this is very hidden. So you know, it's okay. It's not perfect, but very, very hidden on a bus. Unlike on a Beetle, if you don't have the wiring cover on there and you open the hood, you can see this thing much more easily. But anyway, looking pretty nice now. So the new arms and so on are coming tomorrow from Wolfsburg West. This bus is getting Safari windows, so it's getting the correct Safari window wiper shafts from our friends at Wolfgang International that make those. And then it's getting the one-eyed duck, one of my favorite named Volkswagen parts like that. It's getting the one-eyed duck and stuff like that, and the wiper assembly. So I got all that stuff on order from Wolfsburg. The other thing too is he did not have the steering column support there, or the little cup that holds the bushing. So I pulled a couple of those out of our stock of used parts and sandblasted them, cleaned them up, a few coats of primer, a few coats of paint. They're looking pretty good. So yeah, those are ready. The steering box that we got already, it's all ready and painted and everything. So this bus should be going together pretty good. One thing though is that, and I wish I would have thought of this earlier, is that you pretty much have to put in the nose emblem on these before you get too carried away installing stuff under the dash, because it's really hard to get at the posts on these that you put the fasteners on that hold it on. So I'm actually dropping this off at Chrome in the morning. This is a really nice original one. It does have one little dent on it right there that I've body worked most of the way out, but we'll have the Chrome shop get that out the rest of the way and then chrome it, and this thing will look amazing. And it is, again, an original one, so even better. And yeah, I think those are kind of the main things today, is the bus and a little bit on the 69 cowlook. So that's it for today, guys. Hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.